Hello and welcome to Mr.Game Review Show. Don't forget to subscribe the channel, hit the like button and put a comment below the video. Thank you so much. The Italian Job on PlayStation 1, developed by SCI and released in 2001, is a driving-based game loosely based on the 1969 British film of the same name, Strengths 1. Faithful to the source material, the game captures the essence of the classic movie, especially with its inclusion of iconic vehicles like the Mini Coopers. The atmosphere and setting are quite faithful to the original film, which is a big plus for fans, too. Variety in gameplay. The game offers a mix of missions, including time-based challenges, getaways, and free-roaming modes. It keeps the gameplay somewhat fresh and varied, with different objectives and settings. 3. Replayability. There's a decent amount of replayability due to the different modes and the challenge of completing missions with better times. Weaknesses. 1. Graphics and sound. Even for a PlayStation 1 title, the graphics are quite dated, with blocky textures and environments that lack detail. The sound design is also lacking, with repetitive music and unimpressive sound effects. 2. Controls and handling. The driving mechanics can feel clunky and unresponsive, making it difficult to navigate through the more complex levels. The handling of vehicles, particularly the minis, isn't as smooth as it should be, which can be frustrating. 3. Difficulty and pacing. Some missions are overly difficult due to strict time limits and unforgiving AI. This, combined with the unpolished controls, can lead to a lot of trial and error, which may frustrate players. 4. Lack of depth. The game doesn't offer much beyond its basic mission structure. There's little in terms of character development or narrative, which makes the game feel somewhat shallow. The Italian Job on PlayStation 1 is a mixed bag. While it offers some enjoyable moments, particularly for fans of the film, its shortcomings in controls, graphics, and overall polish prevent it from being a standout title on the platform. It's a decent nostalgic trip, but doesn't hold up well compared to other driving games of its era. If you're a fan of the movie or enjoy classic driving games, it might be worth a look, but don't expect too much. The Italian Job on PlayStation 1 features a total of 15 levels in its main story mode. These levels are based on the key scenes and heists from the 1969 film. The game also includes various missions like getaways, time trials, and specific objectives that follow the plot of the movie. The composer for the Italian Job video game on PlayStation 1 was Alistair Brimble. He is a well-known British video game music composer who has worked on numerous titles across various platforms. Alistair Brimble has composed music for a wide range of video games starting in the late 1980s. He is particularly recognized for his work on classic games for platforms like the Commodore Amiga, Atari ST, and early consoles. In addition to the Italian Job, Brimble is known for composing music for games such as Alien Breed, Super Frog, Project X, Driver, and the Worms series. Whether the Italian Job on PlayStation 1 is worth playing depends on what you're looking for in a gaming experience. Here are some factors to consider, reasons to play. 1. Nostalgia. If you're a fan of the 1969 film, the game does a decent job of capturing the movie's atmosphere with its iconic cars and British setting. 2. Classic driving experience. The game offers a variety of missions that focus on driving, including heists, getaways, and time trials. If you enjoy classic arcade-style driving games, this might appeal to you. 3. Retro gaming enthusiast. If you're into retro gaming and have an interest in exploring lesser-known titles from the PS1 era, the Italian Job could be a fun addition to your collection. Reasons you might want to skip. 1. Dated graphics and controls. The game's graphics and controls haven't aged well. The visuals are blocky, and the driving mechanics can feel clunky, which might be off-putting if you're used to more polished games. 2. Lack of depth. The game is relatively short and doesn't offer much beyond its basic mission structure. There's little in the way of story or character development, so it may feel shallow compared to other titles. 3. Better alternatives. There are many other driving games from the same era, such as Driver or Gran Turismo, that offer more refined gameplay and depth. If you're curious about the game due to its connection to the film, or if you have a fondness for retro PS1 titles, it might be worth a playthrough. However, if you're looking for a polished, engaging driving game, there are better options available.
Lose the Mafia.